You are now watching Geeked Up Paranormal.
Welcome back, Paranormal Geeks, the Geeked Up Paranormal podcast. My name is Brandon, and today with us we have Melissa Bryan. She is the Outlaw sidekick. She is the owner, CEO, COO of Outlaw Life Sidekick Enterprises and Golden West Paranormal. She is the author of the award-winning book, Born into Shamanism. She is a psychic medium, energy healer, background actress for Western films, a genealogist. Did I say that right? Genealogist and media personality. Her heritage, of which her work is deeply entwined with, is shaman, druid, Wicca, gypsy. She has 43 years in the psychic field. Her accuracy rate is around 90%. So, what do you mean by your accuracy rate is around 90%?
Well, more or less, I've gotten a lot of validation on things I've done.
Okay, that's what I was, I guess, assuming, but I know, like, with assumptions, that's all they are until you ask and get the information on. So what is your paranormal beliefs and thoughts on the paranormal?
Well, I believe that spirit, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, basically are who we will become in the afterlife, who they are now.
So what do you believe is in the afterlife?
Well, from personal experience, family, friends, love, it's beyond, shall we say, anything we could comprehend here. What is over there, there's no hate, there's no envy, there's no malice, there's no greed, there's no anger, there's no any of the negative crap that we have here.
It's just peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think from after, like, we pass and we go into the afterlife, do you think that we come back from there into, like, another life here, or
we choose to? Yes.
All right. You want to talk about your book a little bit about, like, what your book is about, and maybe a little bit what's in it without giving out too much, so people can actually go and buy and read it?
Yeah, my book is actually my walk and work with spirit throughout my own life. What I've done, where I've been, what I've seen, what I've experienced. You know, I've got advice for people just starting to follow their own path. I'm going to be expanding into cryptozoology and my experiences with that. We live out in the heart of Bigfoot country in upper Northern California. Happy Camp. We are literally the Bigfoot capital of California. And I've had some very interesting experiences with that. And I want to add that to my book. I want to kind of go a little bit more in depth in how my past life plays into my current life. And
it seems like that's going to be another very good, interesting book to read.
Actually, I'm going to be adding it to my original book.
Oh, so you're adding it on to this book? Okay. So would it be updating on where can everybody get this book?
Amazon and Kindle at the current moment.
Will Amazon be updating that or selling it as like a separate?
I'll have to excuse me, I'll have to update it myself.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you are a psychic medium.
Yes.
What's your so? Can you explain that for far as like your abilities as a psychic medium for those who?
Yeah. Basically, what it is, I'm able to see, hear, feel, sense, and know things that are beyond the normal five senses.
Do you see spirits?
Mhm.
And when you see them, how do you like see them as?
I see them as solidly as I see another person.
And is it as like as they as past or
Well, there's past or more currently, like into the 1950s, 60s. Modern day, I have a little bit of trouble seeing spirit from modern day. I think because it's a little too recent for me anyway. But I am able to overall see them and hear them and feel them, sense their emotions, and what they died from and all that.
do you do I know some people don't like calling them readings and whatnot.
Yes, I do those. Mhm.
Okay. How can people get a hold of you to possibly get a reading done if that's
They can call me 530-309-6352, extension 0, or olpsyent.com, olscient.com, and or olpsyent at protonmail.com. Email me, call me, and set something up.
all right. And all of that is all right if I put all of that in the description too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so what is I would say like the oldest kind of spirit that you have interacted with?
I was in Italy when I was much younger, and I actually saw and interacted with Roman soldiers.
Like ancient Roman soldiers. What was that interaction like? Like what?
Well, it was like I was seeing them in that time frame, like what their lives were like, what it was actually really like, and it's really interesting.
Um, so like how big were they? You know what I'm
They,
saying?
they were actually pretty tall, a lot taller than I am. I'm 5'1", and these guys were like 5'8", 5'9", sometimes up to 6 foot. And
So
these
about
big guys. I mean, they were not little short, tiny creatures.
yeah. So about average height right now, but back then they would be probably considered very big.
Oh yeah, I mean they were big in terms of height to me, because it's like I would have to look up at them in order to really see them,
Yeah.
their faces.
I feel like that would be a very cool experience to experience with like
I also was at Pompeii, and um, that place is extremely creepy and incredibly haunted.
how so? How's it
I
haunted and
mean,
extremely creepy?
these people don't even know they're dead. They don't know that they're dead. I think it's because everything happened so fast, and they didn't have time to get out of the way, of all that lava and ash and all that. They literally cooked to death, and, you know, it was like it happened so quickly. It was like in and out.
And they're just still continuing their daily lives as if it
Had never happened.
Huh. That's
Some of them are still very scared. Some of them are very confused. They don't understand what happened. And I had to have my guy David, God bless that man, I swear he's wonderful. Sorry, I brag on him, he's amazing. I had to have him explain to them that, you know, that they're dead and that they had basically died when Mount Vesuvius went kaboom. And, you know,
when you and your guide told them that they have passed due to the explosion of that mountain. Um, how did they react to it?
they were kind of surprised, like, oh, so that's what happened. You know, they were actually very surprised.
Did some of them want to stay, or did they want to move
Some
on?
yeah, some of them are still there, and others of them went on and, you know, agreed to go and, you know, continue whatever their journey is.
Do you believe spirits that go on into the light? Do you think they can travel from there to here? And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
all right,
They can, yeah, they come via portals or um, you know, yeah, they come via portals and they can travel into any time period they want, really.
the ones that are still there, um, do you think the that chose to not move on,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah,
why do you think they chose to stay instead of move on?
it's called free will for some. This is their heaven, you know. They're their heaven, and you know, some just don't want to go, and we can't force them to.
Okay, because I mean, I feel like if I was to pass, like, I would probably want to stay with my family until like they all have moved on, and then maybe from there I might want to move to the light after.
Right, right. Some do, some don't. It's called free will, and we cannot force them to go.
Yeah. Um. So you've had a past life. You've lived in a past life, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about that? How that life was?
Thing, I'll give you that. Yes, I was married to Billy the Kid. No poop.
That's awesome.
No poop. I've actually got the marriage record. I've got the census records. I've got records of all the kids. I've got, which there were 4 of them, a girl and 3 boys. I have all their birth dates and all their information. I've got family records to back that up. And in this life, I'm actually his cousin, Billy's cousin. And I've got the records dating to that time that basically show my ancestor, Thomas Dodson Sr., Dodson, as the tie in ancestor between myself and him.
It's pretty cool. And in the past life, you was his wife, right? How? I mean, do you remember how he was like?
Yes, I do. He was incredibly funny, great sense of humor. He was very upstanding, but a lot of people didn't like him because he was that upstanding. And he was framed for a lot of stuff he did not do. Yes, he killed some people, but back in that time, it was wartime. So, you know, in wartime, death happens. That's a part of that kind of thing. Most of his kills were self-defense. Bob Ollinger, we consider that a credit kill. Even the guy's own mother said Billy should have been pinned a medal you know, should have had metal pinned on him for it. And, you know, because he was just an evil guy. He was just no good.
So you say he was a funny guy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how was he funny?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
he was constantly cracking jokes and, you know, singing and dancing. Just, I mean, he was hilarious. He would have everyone on the crew just cracking up laughing constantly.
Did he have a joke that he told more than often others?
Sometimes, once in a while, yeah. I mean, like anyone else pretty much would. I mean, think about it. You know, you're hiding out in caves, you're hiding out in houses, you're, you know, out on what we call llano estacado, or fake plains, and there's really nothing else to do but entertain yourselves. You know, you come up with jokes, you sing, you dance, you laugh, you know,
Yeah.
constantly out on the trail a lot. So there was really not very much else to do.
Well, that's like growing up here in Kentucky. A lot of people say there's not a lot to do and yada yada yada, and I'm like, there's tons of stuff to do. It's just all in in your head that there's nothing to do because there's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go anywhere, and like if there's nothing miles around, there's still probably something you can do where you're standing, or I'm pretty sure there's a creek or a river somewhere close by. There's fishing. Um,
Well, we weren't really too much over by rivers too much. We were, but we weren't. It's kind of like certain areas had major and minor rivers and creeks.
yeah,
We didn't really fish all that often. We were more cattle and horse people, so we had a lot of beef and a lot of mutton, which is sheep, a lot of deer meat, venison. We had pigs, so we had a lot of pork, and that was a staple back then in Mexican communities. Um, and we stayed a lot to the mountains. We were very mountainous people.
yeah. Uh, when I was like, I wasn't saying necessarily like y'all didn't have like stuff to do. I was just saying in general,
Right, right.
because that, I mean, still today, people around here will still say there's nothing to do, but there's tons of stuff for them to go and do.
So one other thing is Billy was very proficient with guns, with handguns, with rifles, all that. And
I mean, his
I
track record shows that.
yes. And I've got record to where he had started a gun club over in Kansas. And that gun club is still around to this day, which is really cool. I'd like to go visit them.
What's the? Is it a secret gun club or is it?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. All I know is it's a gun club over in Kansas. They're still around to this day, to what I understand.
That would be awesome.
I would love to go visit them.
I'm gonna definitely have to do research and try to go and. Hold on. Where's my phone? I don't know if it. I don't. No, it was Jesse James. Never mind. Billy the Kid wasn't out this way. If I'm correct, I think it was Jesse James that was hid out in a barn over here.
Yes, my great grandfather.
I mean, to me, like, I feel like with Jesse James and Billy the Kid, I feel like their stories definitely could be misconstrued over time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the victors will always be the one who wrote the stories.
Right.
And they're going to write it the way they want.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, honestly, I don't know if I've ever lived in a past life. And if I have, definitely would love to, I don't know, I guess experience it or like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that would be awesome to know, is like who I was in my past life and how I was then versus how I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also thinking too, like, I mean, hopefully I was never anybody bad in a past life. And then I was thinking, like, what happens if somebody was somebody that was like bad in the past, like Genghis Khan, or they were, I don't even want to say his name, the H man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Like, I feel like if I was ever to figure out who I was in the past life and I was one of them, I feel like I'd be very upset and
I'm
mad.
I'm actually not, because I understand it from a different viewpoint. I'm related to so many outlaws, in-laws, no laws, some laws, who cares laws. It doesn't phase me. I see things, I guess, if you will, in a bigger picture sense.
I mean, I'm not a bigger picture kind of person because I believe that's just phony baloney, uh, like wordplay. A
No, it's
bigger, a bigger picture. Well, like with my experience, I'm not trying to knock anything you're saying or whatnot. It's just like I feel like when people say the bigger picture, it's covering up stuff, because the bigger picture, we're all here in the bigger picture together. And at the end of the day, murder is still murder. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
like what Genghis Khan and H Man and
yeah,
people like him in the past, what they did, I'm like, as today in this life, I would never condone it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well,
And I would hope, and I know there's bad and evil, but I still will never condone evil. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And I'm still going to stand against it.
hmm
But it's like, if I feel like if I was to be one of them, I mean, I wouldn't like, I'd be very upset with myself. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Because I don't want to be anybody bad in my past. But then again, there's theories saying that we're all the same person, and like we're all living, like we're all not the same person, the same type of, I guess, energy or something, and we're all living in at the same time, just in different bodies at the same time. And as soon as we die, we'll we'll
and
we'll
no, I mean, it depends on your perspective.
no.
Um, I know Billy in this life. He's actually a really, really close friend of mine. I know Butch Cassidy in this life. We're all pretty close. I know Dave Rudabaugh. I know him and his family in this life. And this life is actually kind of like a redemption life. Like, we get to live a better life now than we did then. And we don't have to really live in this life with the stigma that we had, from back then.
Yeah.
And there's some of us actually trying to change, I guess, if you will, the perspective on what was versus what is now, and trying to clear some of those names of false information, false identification, false narratives, if you will.
Yeah, I completely understand, because some people, like, I mean, I highly believe in self defense, you know what I'm saying? And I know back then and even today, the government likes to pick on people, and there's just some people that don't back down, when
Right.
like, you're going to come knocking and they're going to stand their ground and y'all are going to have war, and it still happens till this day.
Mhm.
If you think about it, like, I don't want to mention big names, or situations that have occurred, but the government comes knocking and, like, they're like, "No, screw you. We're going out," with a bang.
Mhm.
Like, you came messing around with, like, here, and it's not your business. You know what I'm saying? It's now some things I can, like, see that hey, the government was in the wrong. They should have never came at that person, and that person was legitimately in their right, you know, to defend themselves in their land and so on and so forth.
Actually, yeah. Which a lot of the outlaws, if you really look at everything that happened, that was the whole gist of it. Is that a lot of them were framed for things they actually did not do.
Oh,
Billy was framed for the killing of a lawman. He did not do it. I know he didn't do it. I've got all the records to prove everything that happened.
yeah. I mean,
I've got all the on paper records, and a lot of everything I have shows he either did not do it or someone else had a beef with that individual, and so therefore said, okay, that's it, I'm done, you know?
yeah. I mean, you got to think over time too. You have millions of people, you know, and they're gonna hear the story, be interested, and then try to tell other people the story and misconstrued words in the story. And then you got people that uh I'm not saying you, but like people that wish they were, I guess, family of them or something, and they'll try to misconstrue the story to fit their story. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
then that'll get passed down. Then you got Hollywood. They're the big like misconstrued of everything because they'll get a hold of something and then they'll rearrange the story to
Yeah.
put it on the TV. And it's,
I
I
know.
mean,
I grew up around the Western movie lots. I grew up around all the old Hollywood movie lots, Universal Studios, Paramount, MGM, Warner Brothers, you know, all those, because my family was in and around that stuff so much from like the early 1900s on. And, you know, my family and I, we grew up in and around Los Angeles and San Fernando Valley and all that. Um, you know, and I lived literally on what used to be the old Iverson Ranch. My uh home from my teen years is like right around a mile and a half, maybe if that, maybe even a couple thousand feet from where they actually filmed the parade grounds for Fort Apache, one of my absolute all out all time favorite John Wayne westerns. And I grew up around Gene Autry, you know, Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, oh my God, Tex Ritter, uh,
well, I'm
Randall
pretty,
Scott, all the big names that you could name of Western movies. I grew up around this stuff. I grew up around all these old movie ranches. And, you know, I mean, I know how Hollywood can twist things because I've been there, done that. I've heard all the stories. I've seen all the films. I mean, I practically have a collection of it all.
yeah. And I, I mean, if you even look at the beginning of time to now, if you look at like a lot of religions, it all kind of is the same story,
Mm-hmm.
just in a different version of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
which one's true, which one's not, and
Mm-hmm.
and they link them all back to like the ancient Egyptians, religious times. It's all linked back to that. So it's technically all the same religion,
Yeah.
just in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
And like, look at that. You know what I'm saying? That story from the beginning of time, how it has trickled down to now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's so many different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just, it, I mean, stories get told and they get changed around over time. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, I hope that I was never a bad person in past life.
No, but I know you from one of them.
Uh, which one? That's what I want to know.
Actually, it is from the Old West, and you were kind of somewhat, sort of, and I'm kind of left my. He's got your chart out, and I'm kind of reading it, saying here. So if I look away, kind of don't get the wrong idea. I'm kind of reading your chart, and sort of at the same time, you were kind of somewhat associated with the Jameses, yeah, with my family. Yes, Jesse is my great great grandfather today. But I mean, you weren't like even the worst of them. No, you were kind of an offshoot. You weren't in the eye of all of it, but you knew of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You weren't really associated with it or part of it, but you kind of knew it from. It's like being a part of the family, but not really a part of.
They're friends.
Going on directly.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Involved, but you knew of what was going on.
I was there, but I wasn't involved in the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
You were not directly involved.
It's kind of how I am today. When shit goes down, I don't like to be directly involved.
Mm-hmm. No, you involved with that.
If I ain't, I mean, I don't. That's.
No, you were one of kind of the local farmers that was kind of being harassed a little bit, by these other government agencies. They kept coming to you saying, well, we want information on blah, blah, so and so. And you're like, look, I just don't know nothing. Leave me alone,
I feel like I would be like that. Honestly, over time, I've always thought about it. Like, how would I, if I lived in a past life, what would I be?
I mean, we're kind of like a farmer that was kind of in the local area, but you weren't like directly involved with everything that was going on. You knew of it, and you did know Jesse, though. You did know him. He did ride to your farm a few times. You had some interaction, but it wasn't like a major interaction, It was like he kind of rode through the area, if you will. I'm sort of seeing like a passing through in terms of, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he would stop by once in a while. It wasn't often, but it was once in a while.
I mean, pretty much how I am now with my friends, and my friends are with me once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Which is perfectly fine with me.
I see almost like this pattern of like passing through the area. It wasn't like you were directly involved with him. You kind of knew him by face, but you didn't really know him. You might have, seen or spoke to him once or twice, but that was pretty much the extent of it,
Yeah.
I think he like changed. I'm seeing like a changing of something like horses, or like changing some kind of a travel pattern. You see what I'm saying? He might have like come through and changed horses, or like dropped his off and paid you like a certain amount for, like, say, a new horse or fresh horse or something like that.
In other words, did a little bit of business with them.
A little bit, but not directly. You see what I'm saying? You didn't know his involvement with anything. You knew the stories. You just didn't know the whole thing, the whole story.
I mean, it's better not to know the whole story, because then you can't tell nobody shit.
Yeah.
When they want to come asking questions, I don't know nothing.
Yeah, and I know that I'm being shown like some men coming to that farm, and I'm hearing them like ask, well, what do you know about blah, blah, blah with so and so? And you're like, I don't know. I don't have any information. I've heard the stories through the newspapers, but beyond that, I don't know.
That's just, how did I die in that life?
Natural causes. Peaceful.
That's. I wonder if, man. See, I want to know about all my past lives. I think stuff like that's very interesting, you know? Especially then, like, if I lived in a certain time, who was I? And then, like, what did I do?
My family in particular were Confederate, and I have all the records to that as well. And they went west with Brigham Young and hid out with the Mormon wagon train. They changed their last name a little bit to avoid being harassed. And so mine were, in fact, outlaws. All my Jameses all went to Los Angeles after the war, and that's where I was born and raised. I'm fifth generation James, fifth generation, and I was born under Jesse's alias, which he got from Canada. Right around the end of the war to about 1880, I want to say. So basically, the family went west to Los Angeles. Grandpa and Grandma both died in Missouri, and my great grandparents passed in Los Angeles and now are buried under the alias from Grandpa Jesse. In fact, Billy, stop. Sorry, my dog.
No, you're fine.
My dog. Billy, come here. Billy, you want to say hi? Want to say hi? My dogs will say hi.
No, you're fine. I got
Faces Bandit, the black face of Billy. Sorry about that. They both want attention.
You're fine. Mine's sleeping. He's a big old.
Aw, what kind you got?
He's a Mastiff mixed with American Staffordshire Terrier.
Oh.
He's a big old baby.
Sounds like mine. Mine are big babies.
People get scared of them when they see them.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not scared. I get my heart stolen. Forget it. I'm mooshed. That's it. It's over. Why heart?
If anything, he'll lick somebody to death. There was only one person. There was only one person that I've known for him to ever get aggressive towards, and it was one of his bets at. I even say it was his bet. It was a bet that I stopped at and used only this one time. I would have went back there if he never acted that way towards this person.
Right.
But before that person even came through the door, like, he started getting very defensive stance. His hair down his back was raising up. He started growling, showing teeth. I was like, oh shit. I was like, he's never acted this way. I was like, there's something. And then
right.
I think it was just that guy, because he's never acted that way towards anybody ever again that I know. And
well, I can tell you one thing. I would just kiss him and love him and boop him and snuggle him and massage his ears and rub and kiss his belly and massage his paws and massage his tail. Oh, I just love him from tip to tail.
He would love it every minute of it. So you're an energy healer.
Yes.
Can you explain?
Well, yeah. And I'm going to explain one situation in particular. There was a lady, her hand was all kind of gnarled up like this. And it was one 4th of July. I goes, oh my God. And my heart sank into my stomach. I mean, I felt so bad for her situation. And all of a sudden I felt my hands just get white hot. And it was really painful, to be honest, when this happens. And I came up to her, I said, I'm sorry, I saw your hand. My heart just absolutely goes out to you. I'm really sorry for what you're feeling. I just, if I could take your pain away, I would. In a heartbeat, I would take your pain. And so I basically put her hand between my hands, and I basically straightened out, I guess, if you will, the energy in that part of her body. I said, this is not only going to assist with your healing, but it's going to help the doctors do their work better. She came back to me a year later, and all that was left was like her little finger like that. But she could open and close her hand normally. She said, I don't know what you did, but whatever you did, it worked. I goes, I give it to Creator. I give it to Spirit. I give it to Creator, whatever you want to call this. And, I take no credit for it myself. And I had read through some of the history on my family heritage and genealogical background. And it turns out that my 16th great grandparents did what I do. They were shamans. And no, I mean the real thing, real deal. And I come down through a lineage of, shamans and druids and witches and gypsies. And all of them had their own particular abilities, but it all pretty much factors into the same thing. And all of them have been able to do what I do.
I mean, that's kind of amazing. What's the difference between a shaman, a druid, and a Wicca?
Well,
and an energy healer and a gypsy. What's the difference between each one?
Yeah, it's all pretty much the same thing, but all nature based. Shamans, they work with, everything, spirit and plants and animals and elements and all this stuff. Druids, from what I understand anyway, I don't know that much about it, but there's pretty much centered around worship of trees and nature energy. From what I understand, like I said, I don't know that much about it, but that's what I understand. It's all Celtic, all, from the Celtic ways of life.
I don't think we're really supposed to understand much, but just to do what we're supposed to.
Yeah, witches, it's pretty much all nature based. And that's from what I understand from my elders, so that's all good. All kind of ties into the same thing. And gypsy, same thing, kind of. It's all, energy and nature and elements and spirit and all this stuff. And I'm still trying to get my own personal handle on it, of what I'm able to do. And a lot has come through from what my ancestors have trained me in and on. Hang on, hon. Sorry, the dogs are kind of getting in trouble. Oh,
you're fine.
Sorry, my dogs are getting themselves in trouble.
Oh, you're fine. I know life happens, and I know how animals are. You don't have to tell me sorry. A lot of people tell me sorry a lot for life. You know what I'm saying? It's like
right. No, I'm just.
You ain't gotta tell me sorry.
Anyway, all of it is very nature based. So, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with my own thing. But so far, I've managed to get a handle on spirit. I'm working on the elements part of it. Energy, I've pretty much got a handle on. Let's see here. You want to come in? Huh? You want to come in? Hun, I think the boys want in. Back in? Yeah, back in. But yeah, I'm starting to get a handle on the elements part of it. That's a little slower than some. Spirit, I've got the handle on. Nature, I've got pretty much a handle on. I'm still trying to get the herbal part down. Elements, I'm still kind of working on it. Some parts are slower than others.
Yeah. So and they're all like healers of
Yes, all of them. Yes,
I guess religion.
yes.
Um, I think that's awesome. So
Really?
when you do readings, how like how would how does that go about? How does that
Well,
transpire?
clients can meet with me on Skype, Zoom, Facebook Live, StreamYard, whatever they choose to do, and or in person. I know that here the local government says, oh, we have an ordinance. If you have people over to your house for your business, then we're going to charge you $350. I goes, what? That's racketeering. And I told the county where they can stick that $350. And that felt really good, by the way.
Yeah, I would tell them where they can stick it too, right up there.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
so I'm gonna try to steer away from the situation that's going on at hand now because a lot of people get very emotionally attached to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of people,
I know. But
and
basically, they can meet with me at my house. I don't care what the governments is here say. I
no,
really don't care about that. I'm like, no, I'm going to have people over, and you know what? County, well, bye.
well, um, I just like a lot of people are brainwashed, and the government did a good job with what they did this time.
Yeah,
I
I know.
guess because and I don't want to get into the stuff because I'm
Oh
not
no,
saying
no. I have no intention of getting into that. I'm not a
yeah.
part of any of it. So no.
So let's say I'm I guess a customer and we're doing a reading now. Like how would that go about? Like how,
Well, I would sit you down. I would essentially run down, what I can and cannot do for you, um, where my abilities lie, and I would bring through your loved one or loved ones that want to speak. I can ask my guy David and my gatekeeper to bring through who you need to hear from, and I would essentially bring through a message for you.
um I'm not really trying to get a reading now, but there's
No.
a lot of stuff that I feel like connections and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, do you believe that people can have more than one spirit guide?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
And one of your spirit guides is named David, right?
Hmm.
There's no is I believe one of my spirit guides' name is David.
It might be a different
Um,
one.
I'm not.
Mine.
Well, I'm thinking mine's my is a great uncle of mine.
Hmm.
That's he. Well, he's not even blood kin. He married into the family, and same with the other one that I have. Uh, he's a great uncle. He's not blooded, but he married in the family, and he's a spirit guide of mine. And to me, I'm like that's amazing. And then
I mean, I'm not.
there's stories that kind of like intermingle everything, and
Yeah.
it's a big oh,
Well,
you know.
basically, you have your main guide, and then your ancestors actually can't help pull strings on other side, and we all work in what is known as Hall of Records. And I'm a frequent visitor to there. I love that place. I mean, when I'm like astral traveling, I'll just sit there with my nose in a book. You can't get me out of a book. Um, But yeah, we all work in Hall of Records. I work there frequently on other side. I love the place. I love getting into the old books and the old records and reading through them and, picking up new knowledge. I really, really love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, knowledge is very fun, especially when you receive the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people don't understand knowledge is key, and I feel like a lot of people have said knowledge of said things and certain things, but I feel like they let the the day to day life affect them way too much. Where
Mm-hmm.
if they was to step back and really think, then they would know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they just allow all of this kind of nonsense get to them.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. But then again, I kind of get it because like that's what intrigues them, and
Right.
and what intrigues me is totally different, and I'm, what I'm saying, but so on and so forth. Um, I'm like, I don't want to try to do a reading and stuff and get a reading from you, but do you see a spirit round or around me or anything, or the whole
Yeah.
time that we've been talking?
Yes.
Can you describe that spirit for me?
Yeah. Middle-aged male, tall, thin. Well, not thin, but like medium build. Looks a little bit like Grandpa Jesse, but not him. Like, because a lot of men look kind of sort of similar back in the day, especially in uh like those areas,
Can you
where you're
describe his
from.
face?
Huh?
Can you describe like his facial
Yeah,
features a little
yeah.
bit?
Fair skin, darker hair, kind of like uh his hair's kind of like over to one side, um kind of similar to the way that uh my grandpa Jesse wore his hair, but not exactly the same. Kind of a little bit fuller, thicker hair. Um, Sort of a little bit of a curl at the end, a little bit, not too much. Sort of wavy a little bit. Um, he has like a mustache of that time period. Um, and he's wearing like a period shirt, suspenders. Um, has kind of darker pants on. I can't see below his waist. Billy, stop. Sorry, my dog. um, anyway, yeah, he's kind of like 19th century, if you will. I don't know his name, but he's got dark eyes and uh he's just kind of standing behind you, kind of to your side. Right there. Yeah. Hmm.
What does his eyebrows look like?
Kind of not thick but not thin, kind of medium brows.
Uh, what about like his facial, like
Yeah, he's
his,
got like a Billy, stop. Hunt. Sorry, my dog. He's got kind of like almost an oval face, if you will, kind of longer toward the end a little bit, but not a square jaw, but not a round jaw either. Not oval. It's hard to describe. It's kind of like almost an oval face, but a little bit more round.
and he's about how tall? Like about six
Uh,
feet
oh, maybe
taller,
about
shorter.
5'5", 5'6", I want to say.
All right. Let me know with his height.
No, a little bit further down. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Yeah.
Yeah. you're pretty on point about the height. That was weird.
Yeah, he's kind of got almost not an oval face, but kind of oval, but a little bit more round. He's got a mustache, darker hair, dark eyes.
And he won't
That's
speak
how the
with you.
19th century type hairstyle that men wore back then.
Yeah.
Parted kind of like right here.
Like the 50s to 60 hairstyle.
No, like 19th century, like 1800s.
Well, the 50s, 60s, and the 1900s. When you say 1900s,
No,
that
1800s. 18.
1800s.
1800s. He is from the 1800s.
Is he? Dang, man. So that's new.
He's from the 1800s. Yeah.
Why is he here and whatnot?
He's one of your ancestors. He's one of your ancestors. That's what he's telling me.
So he's speaking with you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's talking.
This is a totally different person then. Or he's opening up with you and he wouldn't open up with others. One of the two.
Well, spirit usually opens up to me real easy. No, but he's in the 1800s. He says he's one of your ancestors.
He's
coming through, and basically, he's like right there. He's like watching you.
Yeah.
He's watching over you, or helping watch over you, or something. Yeah.
I feel like he's different from the other, the spirit that the other, or the, I don't like saying spirit, but spirit that the other mediums have seen and described and said wouldn't speak to them. I mean, you did describe them a little differently when it came to like jawline and the eyebrows. So I'm thinking it's probably a different spirit from who they seen and wouldn't speak with them.
No, it's basically he's from the 1800s. He's one of your ancestors.
I'm not saying
your other ancestor's right there over your other shoulder. I see him like I see you. I'm seeing both gentlemen. I'm seeing the 1800s one right here and the other one right here.
Who's the other one?
The other one is the one you said was from the 50s, 60s. Yeah, he is there too, but this one's more prominent. This one's coming through a lot clearer.
Okay. I think that's just stuff like that's pretty neat and weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that either one has to tell me or anything? Because I mean, a second ago I got overwhelmed. My eyes got really watery, and that usually, to me, it's like a family presence, and I get that feeling, and I never know what to do. I try to communicate sometimes. I feel like sometimes they speak, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, it depends on what they have to say, because the guy from the 1800s, he's like a lot quieter. He doesn't talk as much as the other one. Hang on just a second. I've got to put my phone on. Billy, stop it. I've got to put my phone on charger. Hang on just a second. There we go. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
But anyway, this one's a little bit less talkative than the other one is. The other one says that he's always there with you. He is always there with you. And you've seen him, you've heard him, you've talked to him a lot. And he does hear you. They do hear us when we speak, okay?
See, now I'm wondering who specifically that one is.
The other one that you said comes around a lot, and he does come around a lot. The one from the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does come around a lot. And there have been times that, you know, like you've needed help on something, he's been right there with you.
It's pretty awesome. So, That's weird. So you have 43 years as a in the psychic field. That's Do you believe that everybody could see and hear spirits and they might have a blockage, or do you believe that it's like DNA based and it's just down the line of certain families that's been blessed with
some are DNA based, some are. Others of us, we have to just open ourselves up to it. All of us have it. It's just a matter of opening to it and being receptive to that opportunity.
How does one go about opening?
In my experience, clear your mind. First and foremost, clear your mind. Sit quietly and just listen. Open your ears and listen. They will come through.
I mean, I've tried that specific approach. Heard some things, but necessarily couldn't make it out and whatnot. And
it's a start. Keep doing it, and eventually you'll be able to hear them full on.
I chalk it up as to me being mentally insane sometimes.
I'm laughing because your ancestors in the background are going, "You're hard-headed and you're stubborn." I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. You're hard-headed and you're stubborn.
Tell them, well, I believe it's DNA based. It's DNA based, and it came from you and higher up. So kiss my ass. Y'all made me this way.
They're going, damn right we did. Oh my God, they're hysterical. They're cracking me up. I'm sorry, they are cracking me up. They're going, you're stubborn, you're hard-headed, you're damn right we made you this way. And yes, we are kind of crazy, but hey, it's all good.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of smart to be stubborn and hard-headed, because if you're not, then you're gullible.
Right. Well, in some cases, yes.
Well, yeah, some case. I ain't saying like all cases, because everything's different, and
exactly
anything's possible is my true beliefs with stuff. That wow, this is crazy. It's just all right. It's already past that hour. I don't want to keep you too long. Is there
okay.
Is there anything that you would like to promote or say or anything?
Well, yeah, go ahead and check out my book, and if you want to call me, give me a call. I'm always up to see clients, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Hey, Spirit, let's get this thing moving, rock and rolling, and going. Let's do this thing. I'm ready.
How much is the rate, like the fee that?
Well, I have kind of a I have a regular fee of $200 to $300 an hour, depending on what you want done. Because I can do dowsing rods, I can do pendulum, I can do regular face-to-face reading, I can do it online, which drops the rate even lower, down to like $100 an hour if it's online, and because it takes a little bit more energy face-to-face, so I kind of bump it up a little bit. I can do cleansings and clearings of properties, buildings, land, whatever. Getting rid of spirits if you want them gone, I can get rid of them, or I can help you, kind of live with them, if you will.
In other words, where y'all cohabitate in the same place.
Yes. I can help with that. I can get rid of them if you want. I can help those that want to cross. I can help them go. I can do investigations. I can do even to the point of helping find the missing. And that is by donation only. For certain things, I will not take payment. Okay. There's just certain things in my heart of hearts I feel I do because it's right, not because of money.
Yeah.
And it is my way of giving back to the community. It's my community service.
Yeah, I understand. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Have
Like
a pretty awesome
finding the
history,
missing.
past,
Yeah.
present, and hopefully future.
Yeah. Finding the missing, that is my way of giving back to the community for everything I'm given. I will not take payment for that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, it happens, but hopefully nobody goes missing.
Well, no,
I
I've
mean,
had a few cases, and that's another thing. I've had a few cases, and one of them in particular was really mind blowing, but also kind of tough on me because it's like what I saw was not what I wanted to see, but it brought closure for those that needed it.
yeah, I understand. I'm gonna try to shy away off of this subject because it's very controversial to a lot of people, and it's at the end of the day, it goes down a route of depression. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's usually when somebody goes missing, something was done wrong to them,
Mm-hmm.
or an accident occurred and they was never found, which to me I feel like is it's just as
Yeah, we
upsetting
have
as somebody
one.
doing something to somebody, you know. And
Yeah, we have one here locally that basically an elderly man has gone missing, and I looked at the picture. I said, "Oh, he is not with us anymore." No, no, no. Accidental death. I know that much, and I don't think they're going to find him for quite some time.
that's not good.
Yeah, but hey, things do happen, and it just is what it is. Sometimes it's not what I want to see, but sometimes, well, I see it, like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just when you're dealing with the paranormal, it's crazy. There's things. I mean, really, we can't fathom. You know.
Right.
I would definitely love to have you back on again
Oh, definitely.
because there's still tons of questions and
Absolutely.
conversations that we could have and we didn't have. So if anybody would like to contact her, her number, email, and the website will be down in the description below. I guess any famous last words?
Well, if y'all want to give me a call, please do. I'm always up for stuff, And I'm planning on doing a major road trip next year to film for my book. All the places I've had experiences, I'm taking a team of people with me. Some are psychic sensitive like I am. Some are skeptics, some are not, some are, just different experiences. And I hope to have a good time. And I'll see y'all on video.
All right. Thank you, Paranormal Geeks, for enjoying this podcast and listening to it and watching it. And if you want to contact her, like I said, links are down in the description, number down in the description.
Billy, stop.
Check her out. Give her a call. She's awesome, medium, awesome person, and she can help you out. All right. That's Geeked Up Paranormal Podcast, everybody. R.I.P.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate that you came on.